Before you judge her, soften first. This is a dedicated message. There is something that I have been learning, something that has humbled me deeply as a man. When someone you love turns towards you in love, your first responsibility is not to judge them. It's not to analyze them. It's not to criticize what they look like, how they sound, what mood they're in, or whether or not they showed up perfectly. Because love is fragile in those moments. Your first responsibility is to soften. When a woman comes towards you with openness, with vulnerability, with softness, with affection, she is offering something sacred. She is saying without words, here I am, this is me. Will you receive me gently? And I've had to face the truth that sometimes I have not done that well. Sometimes the woman that I love has turned towards me with warmth, with excitement, with tenderness. And instead of softening into her, I met her with hardness, with criticism, with judgment, with coldness that came from my own internal unrest. And the painful part is, I don't always realize it in the moment. Because when we're caught in our own emotional spirals, our stress, our triggers, our expectations, we stop seeing the person in front of us clearly. We stop seeing love as love and start filtering everything through our wounds. And that is dangerous because sometimes the very thing we pray for arrives in a form that requires tenderness from us. And if we are too guarded, too reactive, too caught in our own judgments, we wound the person that came to love us. My love, this is something that I have learned because of you. Because there has been moments where you came towards me in love, excited to see me, wanting closeness, wanting connection, and I failed to soften first. Instead of receiving your heart, I let my own discomfort lead. And I know now that in those moments, what you needed was not my criticism. You needed my warmth. You needed me to pause long enough to see your heart before I reacted to the surface, to see your intention before I judged your presentation, to recognize this woman chose to come to me. That matters. When someone chooses you in love, especially after a long night, after their own exhaustion, after all the ways life pulls at them, that choice deserves reverence. And I understand now that love is not just about how deeply you feel, it's about how gently you receive. Real love asks this of us. Can you create safety before you create evaluation? Can you offer softness before correction? Can you make the person you love feel received before they feel examined? Because criticism has its place. Truth has its place. Honesty matters. But if your first instinct when love approaches you is to judge instead of soften, you create distance where intimacy was trying to grow. And I think so many of us do this unconsciously. We think we're responding to the moment, but really we're reacting from old wounds, from fear, from unmet expectations, from inner unrest that we have not resolved. And that's what I'm learning to heal in myself, to pause before I react, to breathe before I speak, to ask, what is actually being offered to me right now? And if what is being offered is love, then love deserves softness first. My love, this is part apology, part realization, part promise. Because loving you is teaching me that tenderness is strength, that softness is not weakness, that a grounded man does not rush to judgment when love is standing in front of him. He slows down when love is in front of him. He slows down enough to recognize the gift. And I want to become that man more fully. The man who sees your heart first. The man who receives your love with gentleness. The man who does not let his moods, triggers, or fears speak louder than your offering of affection. Because when you turn towards me in love, I want my presence to say, you are safe here. Not, you need to be different before I can receive you. That is the lesson. That is the growth. And maybe someone listening needs to hear this too. If someone you love comes towards you with warmth, don't let your pain make you harsh. Don't let your wounds turn tenderness into criticism. Don't punish love because you're uncomfortable. Pause, soften, receive first. Because sometimes the most important moment in love is not when someone says, I love you. It's when they silently offer you their heart and you decide what to do with it. And I'm learning the holiest thing you can do in that moment is soften. 1 Corinthians 16:14 says, let all that you do be done in love.